But whether it's left or right, you should actually just use the term whether it's medial or lateral, anterior or posterior, superficial or deeper. When you use this, then it doesn't matter whether it's left or right, right? Otherwise you get confused. Which muscle is right? There's no right, whether it's lateral or medial, all right? So now, these two, you see this muscle here, this is being cut, this one. This one is also cut, but the other part, I couldn't find it. Maybe, yeah, it's kind of like part of this, I guess. Do you see that? Yes? But the other part is missing. So these two muscles are the medial superficial muscle. And in humans, there are two. What are those? In humans. On the model, take a look at that model. Can someone rotate it? Yeah, rotate it. Okay, rotate it a little bit. Okay, now do you see, now a little bit more, like 15 degrees more. Yeah, more. Yes, do you see those two? Sartorius and gracilis. Okay, I couldn't see, yeah, gracilis is there. So Sartorius is more what? More anterior, does it make sense? Where gracilis is more posterior, right? In humans, Sartorius is much longer and thinner, and then it's at an angle. Does it make sense? But in the cat, these two are parallel to each other. But still, one is anterior. So which one is anterior? Take a look. Sartorius. So this is Sartorius. Which one is more posterior? This. Okay, right, gracilis. If I test you on the superficial one, I wouldn't just like this and then pierce it. I would probably leave it here and then pierce it, so that you know it's a superficial muscle like this, right? Okay. That makes sense. Once you remove this, almost like if you remove those two on the model, let's first look at the anterior group. This is anterior. This is posterior, regardless of what they are. Anterior group, you have this muscle. Right now, don't worry about what it is, okay? And then you have this muscle. This muscle. Do you have that familiar sound if you're not a vegetarian? When you chew on something. Sorry. And then this one. Does it make sense? Yes?
What about it?
So, yeah. So what it is? Name the muscle. Rectus femoris. Name this muscle.
Vastus medialis.
Right. And then this.
Vastus lateralis.
Okay. So these are like extensor muscle.
Yeah.
Right? You also need to know that. And then now let's go to the more posterior one. You see this muscle, right? Yeah. Yes? And you see this muscle, yeah, right? And then you see, okay, tell me if you want me to slow down. You see this muscle. Sometimes I joke that this is like a course in journalism. So many future stars for CNN. Oh my God. Okay, so this is bicep femoris. Yeah. And again, what is the other muscle together with that? Even though the size is different in humans.
Semi-membranous?
Semitendinosus in human. Sorry, I forgot your name. Raul, right?
Joel.
Joel. Oh my God, sorry. Okay, can you turn that leg so that the posterior side is facing? Yes. Do you see these two? Okay, you have two muscles in the back. One is more lateral. What is that? That with the number 2 there?
Bicep femoris.
Bicep femoris. And the one medial to that? The one medial to number 2? Immediately medial.
Oh, semitendinosus?
Yeah, semitendinosus. And then the other one being covered up is semimembranous. Sometimes I confuse these two, semitendinosus, semimembranous. So now on the cat, these two are the equivalent of that too, except that bicep femoris is so much bigger, semitendinosus is so much smaller, and another difference. In humans, they are more posterior, like the flexor muscle. Here, they are still the flexor muscle, but also abduct the side, okay? So again, these two you need to know. Now, what is the muscle medial and deeper to semitendinosus on the human leg, which is covered, semimembranous. So therefore, from here, if you go medially, now medially here, almost like really medially. See this big chunk? Semimembranous. Okay? So these three constitute the posterior and lateral group. These are mainly the flexor muscle. like the hamstring here. This one is actually, its function has the like adduction, but it's not called adductor. So here, this group is adductor muscle. And then the student told me that on the practical, on your lab manual, they didn't label it. By the way, I'm cleaning away blood vessel and this nerve. And so I was told that your lab manual doesn't label what adductor muscle. If that is the case, if I test you on this, I just accept adductor muscle. If you say adductor longus, I take it. If it's adductor magnus, I take it. Okay? All right? So now I've reviewed the quadricep, and then the hamstring, and then semi-membranous, and then adductor muscle. And then superficially, sartorius, and and gracilis. Okay?
Okay.
If you
what about
want,
the sciatic nerve?
Oh, sciatic nerve, I don't know whether I can see it here, but
Would that
right. You have to go find, like, feel the femur. No, I don't know whether that is. It should be somewhere deeper on this. Well, if it's there, I could, but generally I don't. However, on that model, do you see sciatic nerve? Yeah, right. See, take a look, take a picture. Okay.
I can't just.
Yeah, no, again, because this is mainly, this station being there is mainly to test your understanding of the leg muscle. If I use one of my questions for sciatic nerve, I lose part of the ability to test you on the muscle, right? But then I can still test you on that there. Okay?
okay?
Okay.
All right. Can we now change to the shape